Hey guys, what's going on? So today I have an album review for the new Malevolent Creation album. So yeah, background we're playing Forgotten Tunes, Songs to Leave. Love this album. So yeah. Anyways, so the new Malevolent Creation album is called The 13th Beast. It came out on January 18th, so roughly a week ago. It's released on Century Media Records, and it's 49 minutes and 26 seconds in length. So obviously, if you don't know Malevolent Creation, I mean, if you're into death metal, you should. They're a little bit underrated, at least their early work. Their first two albums, The Ten Commandments and Retribution, are both amazing albums. They're one of my favorite death metal bands. I think I already said that, whatever. So anyways, the thing with Malevolent Creation, though, is that most of their discography after their first, about 3 albums isn't really that memorable. A lot of it's very forgettable. Not necessarily inherently bad, just very mediocre. And this album, in my opinion, is kind of a continuation of that. It's better than I expected, but it's still just... I wouldn't listen to it again. But anyways, so in this album they're pretty much playing the same style as their earlier work, but with tinges of melody. Although it doesn't feel like it came out in the 90s, and that's mostly the production. We'll get to that later. Again, very thrashy style of old school death metal, which I do really like that style. I think that thrash metal mixes with old school death metal really well. And thrashier death metal bands are fucking amazing. So yeah. I feel like lyrically, concept-wise, they haven't lost their edge at all, which is really cool to see. Their lyrics are still, all angry and hateful and edgy and shit. So that's pretty cool. And there's also a spoken word intro that's a sample from a serial killer or something. So that's also pretty neat. But it contrasts very weirdly with the music though, because there's that intro, and after that there's this super melodic, almost proggy sounding riff, which is really weird. But whatever. The production is my least favorite thing about this album. The production on this album is super clean, which for Malevolent Creation style, that doesn't really work. And they don't even use that production to their advantage, really, to make the album heavier. It's just super clean, which honestly I wouldn't expect anything less from a new Century Media album, especially a new Malevolent Creation album on Century Media. But yeah, the production, I think, similar to the new Deicide album, but not quite as hard-hitting, basically, which I didn't like. I really didn't like the drum sound. The drums are super quiet, and that's why this album kind of lacks a really strong punch. So if you're gonna have clean production, you want to have a punchy sounding album at least. Take a look at the new Skeletor. Well, it's not new anymore, but the Skeletor Remains album that came out last year. I fucking love that album, and they played a similar style of death metal, but with very clean production. But the thing is, the drums were punchy enough sounding in order to make it. They took that production to their advantage. On this album, Malevolent Creation aren't doing anything like that, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I really wish that the band had used this to our advantage, though, because that would have been really cool, but they didn't. But yeah, the production just feels very weak and very safe. Also, sorry if I keep looking down and reading off my notes. I also fucking hate the way the vocals are produced, because the vocals sound really overproduced. Speaking of the vocals, their new vocalist, Lee Wollenschlager, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Sorry if I mispronounced it. His vocals are pretty good. He's definitely no Brett Hoffman, rest in peace. Which really sucks, because this band really isn't the same without Brett Hoffman. Because in my opinion, Brett Hoffman, with their early work, he's almost the main focus. His vocals are amazing. And their new vocalist, his vocals are pretty good. They remind me a lot of the singer from Vader, but with a less, without the German accent, basically. His vocals are still pretty good, and he still has a very natural, raw aggression. Similar to Brett Hoffman, but he doesn't have as good of a range as Brett Hoffman. Because Brett Hoffman could do these really awesome highs, those really shouty kind of vocals, and then his regular mid-rangey growls, which are really cool. But it sucks that Brett Hoffman died and shouldn't do vocals on this album. I actually don't know if Brett Hoffman did vocals on the album a few albums before this. I don't know. I'll have to research that. I really fucking hate the guitar tone on this album, honestly. It sounds like they're playing through a Line 6 album, especially in the parts where all the other instruments go out and you just hear the guitar. It sounds like a Line 6 amp, like a fucking Spider amp. I own one of those, so I know what it sounds like. And honestly, a band like Malevolent Creation should have a lot better fucking gear. Not gear, but just a better guitar tone in general. Yeah, I thought the guitar tone was kind of weak, not very memorable. It sounds better when all the other instruments are playing, but it's just not very memorable. It's a very mediocre guitar tone. The riffs are pretty good, honestly, but they aren't terribly memorable. They have a very melodic tinge to them, but they're very thrashy. So they're good riffs, they just aren't that memorable in my opinion. The bass is pretty much completely inaudible, but I don't really have much of a problem with that, because the bass in death metal, especially old school death metal, for the most part is usually pretty inaudible. with a few exceptions. The drums, they sound good, but they're way too low in the mix. A lot of these new albums coming out on Century Media, the drumming is just really fucking quiet. And same with Relapse too. I don't know why that's been such a trend lately. The drumming needs to be a little bit louder in order for it to sound heavier, because the drums, the sound lacks a punch because the drums are so fucking quiet, and it really sucks that the drums are so quiet, because the drum work is really good, it's just really fucking quiet. But yeah, I mean, if the production was better, this could have been a better album. This album's also way too long for this style of death metal. This album's almost 50 minutes long, and honestly, like, a really thrashy death metal album should be no longer than, like, 35 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. It's just, I don't know. It just gets boring after a while. I'd say this is comparable to, like, the new Deicide album. It's just not as good. Because the new Deicide album, like, they took that clean production and they used it to their advantage to make it heavier. Deicide's always had slightly cleaner production besides, like, the debut album. They've never really been a very raw death metal band. Malevolent Creation has, a lot of their shit's pretty raw. Their early stuff is known for having that Scott Burns style production, which the sound definitely doesn't have, and it really hinders their sound. I mean, yeah, the songs aren't really that memorable. This album is a solid album, but it's not great. It's not absolutely terrible, but I don't know. It's just average, honestly. It's exactly what I expected. Or I think I just said earlier the opposite, that it was better than I expected. Whatever. I don't know. It's kind of what I expected, but just slightly better. The riffs are more memorable, or not memorable. The riffs are better than I thought they would be, but other than that, the sound doesn't have much to offer. The vocals are cool, but the production ruins them. The riffs are memorable, but the guitar tone sucks. The drums are way too quiet. This album is just, I don't want to say it's overproduced, but for an old school death metal style album, this album feels kind of overproduced, which sucks, because I love this band, and this album just isn't that good. But I'm not really mad or anything. I mean, it's a new album from a band. Did anyone really expect Malevolent Creation to be releasing anything groundbreaking this late in their fucking career? I don't think so. I'd give this like a 6 out of 10. It's just not that great of an album. I wouldn't recommend it unless you're a huge Malevolent Creation fan. It's alright. I don't know. The production really ruins it for me. But yeah, that's it for this album though. This album review though. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you agree. Hopefully you like this album more than I did. I don't know. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it though. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.